part was at this time that when I did that, we were speaking about that nothing is really corny if you can find a way to do it.
Okay. Oh wow, that's totally wrong. It's been a while since I've streamed with OBS, so let's just scale that back up. Let's see. I probably shouldn't cut off part of my screen, but hey, what are you gonna do? Hopefully I am audible. Let me pull up my chat window. So, what is today's topic? So, okay, let me get started. So, the idea behind this is I wanted to have office hours or something like that, something where I had a regular time where I'm working on stuff, just to keep me working on stuff, and also, keep me not working on stuff when I'm not supposed to be working on stuff, and working on stuff when I'm supposed to be working on stuff. So, my plan is to have some office hours, maybe like late my time, something like 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Berlin time, because I'm a late kind of person. But yeah, the goal is a couple times a week, maybe Monday to Friday, sometime on the weekends, find some time to stream more regularly. People seem to enjoy it when I stream. You'll have to bear with me. It's been a while since I've been streaming with OBS, so it took longer than expected to get everything set up, but I have some nicer music this time. So yeah, the idea behind office hours is to put some notes up of what I'm going to be doing so people can chat and request things if they request things. No guarantees I'm going to do what people request. I might just, do what I would like to do. But yeah, the goal is to stream more often. So thanks to everyone who's in the chat right now. I will be posting this live later. I'm going to create a new channel for this, but I forgot that when you create a new channel on YouTube, you can't stream for the first 24 hours. So this is on my old channel. It actually works out kind of well. Hopefully people who are subscribed to my old channel will subscribe to my new one. I've got a link here, and let me put in the chat. Let me pull up a browser and go to my office hours. I have a tracking repo for all of this. So let me put... Oh, let's do account recovery right now. Good timing. I'll drop a link to the organization repo there, so people can check it out if you'd like. It's got a link to the stream, so if you would not mind... Well, this is today's stream, and this is the... Let me just throw this up on the screen. Excuse me. So, yeah, there's a link to the stream here, schedule and stuff here. If you're ever interested in hearing me talk about stuff, feel free to open up an issue, and I will try and look at that before I start streams most days. And then I'm just going to do notebook style. So, do it by year and month, and today's the first one. So if you're following along with what my notes are and what the agenda are, these are all here. Feel free to star or watch this repo. But yeah, so yeah, if you're interested in this kind of material, feel free to subscribe to this stream, and I'll get started. Today I've got 3 things. I want to try and keep it to 2 or 3 things per stream that hopefully I choose ahead of time. But the 3 things that I want to go over today is I got called out on... Well, I didn't, but the embedded docs have a lot of open issues and PRs, and that got noticed and called out on Reddit today that I saw. So I figured I'd spend a little bit of time going over and triaging some issues, maybe explaining some of the stuff that I see in the issues, to help explain stuff as we merge it. The other one is I've had some interest in having kind of an easy go-to packet radio. So if I want to just randomly throw some devices out there that are talking over radios, Bluetooth is a big complicated protocol, and Nordic has this proprietary protocol called Enhanced Shock Burst, which works with both their NRF52, NRF51, and they have some like NRF24s, which are basically specific radios. You've probably owned some NRF24s before because they're running on things like wireless mice and things like that, or like presenters. If it connected to your computer and didn't actually use Bluetooth, it was probably using something like an NRF24. Luckily, I mentioned that I have some interest in it. Some other people have already started going and working on it, so I might pick up on that. I really know very little about the low-level details of Nordic radios. I've worked a lot with the chips, but not with the radios. So this is going to be me kind of wandering around the docs and the work that's already been done, and probably by the end of the stream, I'll just know what I should be doing, but probably not make any progress on there. And then the other thing I need to do, because I said I was going to do it after the last meeting, is open up an RFC for the working group minimum supported Rust version. So in Rust, it's somewhat useful for a lot of people to say, hey, this is the lowest version of Rust that I support, so people know, can I use this if I'm stuck on an old version of Rust, or if I'm using my distributions version of Rust. So I have some opinions on that, so I'll probably be writing an RFC, or at least putting together my notes, explain why I think the way I do for what I think it should be, and yeah, maybe write the outline, maybe write the whole thing. We'll see how boring it would be for a stream for me to write the RFC. So if you have any questions or anything, feel free to ping me on the chat. I'll probably be looking at the YouTube chat most. I'll peek a little bit at Twitter and the Matrix. Let me pull up the Matrix now so I can actually look at that. Unfortunately, I do not speak Spanish, or my wife does, but I don't. So there's a lively Spanish chat going on right now in there between a couple people, but I'll have to translate that later. But yeah, thanks again to everyone who's tuning in live. We've got almost 20 people now, which is super awesome to see. And yeah, I'll just get going. And like I said, feel free to shout out if you have questions. I'm happy to be interrupted, but the goal is mostly just to stream what I'm doing, because it seems to help me be better focused when other people are making sure that I'm not browsing Twitter in the middle of doing whatever I'm doing. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. I just took my dog for a really long walk in the park, so I'm a little tired and probably not sunburnt yet, but probably a little red because I was sitting out in the sun, and I've been sitting in my apartment for the whole day. But yeah, hey, no worries. Feel free to chat in Spanish if you'd like. I just can't follow along. So make sure if you're asking me a question, I can do English or German, but yeah. Let's see. It doesn't look like there's anything going on. I'm going to shamelessly plug myself in the Matrix chat because that's what I do. But yeah. Okay, let's get started at the top. So I think I covered all the hello new channel world. Again, reminder, go subscribe. I'd appreciate it. But I'm going to keep streaming regardless. But if you want to follow this will be the last one that's on my main YouTube channel. So if you're seeing this and watching a recording, go subscribe to the new channel. And I will re-upload this up to the new channel. I just can't start live streaming for 24 hours because I just created the channel today. But let's go look at the Office Hours channel. And I need a better header. Right now I'm just using the same one as Twitter, but it doesn't really look good at regular resolutions, and sadly there's no content there. So it's going to look very empty. Thank you to the 14 people who have gone ahead and subscribed there. Okay, cool. So let's go triage some issues. So I'm part of the embedded working group and part of the resources team specifically, so it should really be my job to go through these issues more often. We also have a problem in embedded where a lot of the times we have issues that are like wish lists, and I don't really know how well to handle that. But yeah. So I don't know if you pronounce it Thales Fregoso or Thales Fregoso. You'll have to apologize me. I don't know what country you actually live in, so pronunciations are all totally different. But I'll probably be doing if you're more interested in the radio stuff, I'll probably try and do that around 8 o'clock, so maybe an hour from now, maybe half hour. We'll see how long I make it through triage and things like that. But yeah, if you're watching for that, I'll probably get started on the Nordic stuff in half hour, an hour. I'll probably do triage for a while, take a break. I didn't completely finish my dinner, so I'll drop out and take a break and finish my dinner at some point. But yeah, if you're interested in the radio stuff, I'll be doing that in a bit. But I'm going to burn through the pull requests first. Then I'm going to try and triage the issues. And yeah, we'll see how far we get. But discovery is the one that got called out today, so I'm going to go through that. Some of this I won't be able to do. But yeah, let's do this. Okay. I'll try and keep an eye on devices and things like that. Let's get my iPad up and going so I can see chat and things like that. Sure. And tell us if you're watching, no worries. I'll keep an eye on Matrix chat too. Okay, embedded nomicon. That's not what I'm looking at. So this is a super old issue. So okay, there's no merge conflicts. Oh, this one's blocked on me. Mind withdrawing your concern. What concern did I have? Am I all good? Okay, looks like this one was just totally waiting on me. So let's go back and device names. I'm being told that you're from Brazil, so it's Thales Fragoso. Okay. There's a whole thing of like, I only read certain names on the internet and I never say them out loud, so my pronunciation is really long, like, or really wrong. Device names. The real prof is doing a wonderful job and fixing things. I got triaged a year ago. I'm sorry. So the real profit looks like everything's good, so I'm just going to go ahead and add my review. And I'm going to prove. Sorry for the delay. And let's just kick off Boris on this. So we use a bot called Boris, which manages all of our reviews, and it makes sure things merge cleanly. So I'm just going to work backwards through these, and I'm probably going to introduce a ton of... what's the new channel name? The new channel name's James's Office Hours. So this is a copy link location. James's Office Hours. I'm not very creative. If anyone has a better name for that, let me know. But I don't have a. I tried to think for like 12 hours and couldn't think of a more creative name, so I just went with the most obvious name possible. Okay, so that's one PR down. Add section, Bluetooth setup, AT commands. So for those of you who don't know, the Discovery book is a really cool book that is aiming to teach people who already know Rust but don't know embedded yet. So the goal for the Discovery book is to be teaching you both Rust embedded as well as embedded at the same time. And what we got called out on Reddit was for not really explaining some stuff like how to read a datasheet, which to be fair was a little out of scope at the very beginning. But someone wrote up a really good response on how to read a datasheet and how to think about that. And that's one of those things, if you're an embedded developer, you're probably used to reading data sheets, but if you're not, then like reading data sheets is one of the like most important technical skills you can learn as an embedded developer, because you do it all day. Like, oh, was this just? Oh, well, this is nice. It's just not in the sidebar. Okay. Well, then this one's easy too. At some point, merging all of these is going to start causing merge conflicts, but I'll start fixing those as I go too. Hardware setup on Linux. LSUSB, yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah, I don't. Let's see what my. Do I have a USB to serial converter? What do I have here that would have? I have a dev board that would have a USB to serial converter on it. Let's see what mine is. Let's see if I can verify. I bet you it's different on every distribution. I have a dev board that should have a USB to serial converter on it. Well, at least it will enumerate as one. The question is, do I have a micro USB cable somewhere at my desk? I have a lot of not USB-C cables. I'm gonna need one for later. I'm looking around my very messy office. I've got USB-B. let's see. You never have the cables you need. Here we go. You are a USB micro, and I'm going to hope that you're not just one of those dumb power cables. Because I always get bit by that, and I should just chop those up and throw them away. It has a zip tie on it, if that tells you how long it's been since I've used it. So let's cut open the zip tie and put this in my trash. Okay. So let's plug in this. Okay, so that's lit up. Let's... Okay, it's showing up as a J-link, so that's good. So what did the instructions say? Okay, so who's gonna be my... where are you? Device 8. Bus 1, device 8. Bus 1, because it's gonna be next to the J-link. Device 8. I am blind. Device 8. I think. Device 8. Okay, here we go. CDC device. CDC ACM. Cool. So it's bus 1, port 2, device 8. Oh, good. Dev USB. Dev. Oh, bus. USB. 1 port. Where did I lose my ACM? CDC data. Port 2. Dev bus USB. Okay, so it's gonna be 8. So it is 0108. Well, it's next to 008. This is all. I really don't even need to be doing this. So it's gonna be CDC ACM device 8. Okay, so it's all port 2 device 8. Port device 8. Device 8. Okay, yeah, it is also read write. So that seems correct to me. Wonderful. You know, just working through February of 2019, so it's only been 14 months. Making me feel silly. How are you doing, Boris? This pull request is still open, and I told Boris to go get it. Boris, how you doing? Okay, well, Boris is still working on it, so that's good. Sometimes Boris takes a little bit. Maybe someone's doing other Boris things right now. Hopefully it's not stuck. Pull requests. Chapter 6, update readme. This got approved, but it didn't get merged. Huh. Let's just see if we can kick Boris. Well, I'm gonna feel silly if all these were sitting open for so long for no good reason. ITM is in the book format as code, therefore it is not intuitive to click on the link and be redirected to the code page. Cargo install ITM. Okay, crates.io, crates ITM. Preferences. Let's turn some stuff off. Oh, and I've got some messages on Matrix. Okay. ITM, so it seems up to date. Oh, hey, we own this. Cool. Okay, cool. Well, I'll just go ahead and consider it wonderful. I'm still sitting at 7 pull requests, which makes me nervous about Boris, but, you know, what are you going to do? See from the cask, please see 167. Well, I do think we should deduplicate this, but I do think we should. At some point, we wanted to refactor this so we could share books between, or share information between books. Maybe I'll add that as a possible thing to do. But if this is, if the other, okay. Oh, I see Boris. I have email notifications, so Boris is starting to chew through these, so that's good. Do you think we should duplicate instructions? But let's get this merged. I think this might be a duplicate. GCR embedded are no longer available through home through. Ah, this might actually be a better one. Fortunately, I'm not a just accepted an update from see, this is 190. This is this. Fortunately, I don't have a Mac. Well, I do have a Mac, but not one that I actively develop on. So it should still work. Um, okay, well, I don't think I can fix this one, but okay. Well, let's go ahead and that's at least burn down some pull requests. Let's go ahead and see how these are doing. Let's see what this cells are. Let's see a little bit more context. This is talking about concurrency. Free, the other platforms will have similar mechanisms for executing code in critical sections. This is also the same as disabling interrupts, running some code, then re-enabling the interrupts. Note, we didn't need to put a critical section inside the timer interrupt for two reasons. Writing 0 to counter can't be affected by erase since we don't read it. It will never be interrupted by main thread anyway. If counter was being shared by multiple interrupt handlers that might preempt each other, then one might require a critical section as well. This solves our immediate problem, but we're still left writing a lot of unsafe code which we need to carefully reason about. And we might be using critical sections needlessly, which comes at a cost to overhead and interrupt latency and jitter. Or you might be using critical sections needlessly. Each critical section adds a small amount of code size. Also, delay of interrupts, latency, and varying delay between repetitive interrupts can be added, which is often worse because the system will be less capable of handling real-time events. Let's see, what was the other feedback? Well, I'm going to apply this change. Oh, can I do multi-line suggestions? Will this work? This doesn't seem to work. How can I? Okay. Tell you what, let's go to the book and let's clone here and let's cd office. Let's just get a fresh. What was this fancy command that they had? Oh, interesting. I haven't done this before. This is interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and apply. This is Adams. Since Adam suggested new wording and the original author gave a thumbs up to this, then I'm going to go ahead and apply this. And the name of this file is changed. This is files changed. Come on, browser. You're having troubles. It's just taking me here. Files. Source concurrency index. Source Currency index. This is online. 143. $141. Okay. Is there a merge conflict on this? Has anyone else touched this recently? Nope, does not appear to be. Apply suggestions from Adam Greig. Did he let me apply changes? Sure does seem like it. Yeah. Origin. Yes, committed. Are you going to show up here? Why is this not... There isn't anything to compare. Why are you not showing up, GitHub? Did I not commit? I did commit. Yeah. You should be showing up as an update to the pull request. Why are you not there? Okay, well, we will go ahead and is GitHub having trouble? Supersedes. What number are you? You are 164. Closes. Is this an issue? Well, I guess 160 is already closed. Let's apply. Since it's Adam Greig's suggestion, then actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click. Oh, it's not going to let me approve my own pull request. That's okay. So I'm going to chat and asking for help. Okay, let's see if anyone comes back around to that. Let's close some things. Yeah, this is cool. Collections fix. Bump allocator doesn't take into account the size of the allocation, just the alignment. It'll result. Excuse me. Yeah. Align mask equals not. Okay. Okay, so what this is, allocators, when you allocate memory, there's two pretty important things that you need to know about each allocation. So there's the size of the thing you're trying to allocate it, which makes sense. Oh, YouTube is not receiving enough video for smooth streaming. Interesting. Let's see if my machine is doing okay. Also, apparently doing triage at the beginning of the stream is a good way to get people to drop off the stream. All right. And it also seems that I'm having some trouble with things. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to try and figure out what's up with my stream. So I will be back in a minute. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know. I should probably not stream on a tiny little laptop because apparently I was dropping all kinds of frames and the stream dropped for like everyone. So you missed maybe a couple merged PRs, reviewing some PRs. I'll try and keep a better eye on the stream quality, but feel free if any of you are also in the Matrix room. I have my iPad sitting open, so feel free to ping me on if anything gets weird with the stream. Probably assume it's my computer, but I'll keep a um, I'll keep an eye on that. So feel free to shout. I'll try and keep the YouTube chat window open, and I'll keep the Matrix chat open. So if I start having problems with streaming quality again, then let me know. And I guess maybe for next week I'll move my more powerful PC in here, and I'll maybe I will do some stuff there. So hopefully I'll be back. I'm keeping an eye. People are letting me know when it's up and going again, but yeah. Hmm. Okay. Well, I'll keep going. If it gets bad, then I'll call it off for a day, or maybe I'll just record it and upload this later and try not to stream it at the same time. But that's a shame if it's not working decently well. Okay, so the thing that I was doing before I dropped off was there's a PR that fixes the example allocator. Yeah, and so when you're doing allocations, there's two important things you need to keep in mind. Um, you need to keep in mind the size of the allocation that you're doing, and you're trying to keep a track of the uh, alignment of what you're doing. So this PR it looks like originally we were just looking at the alignment. We weren't looking at the actual size, which is not great. But let's see, the head I'm gonna guess is a pointer. So we have the size, so we move the start up to the next alignment boundary. So head plus align. Where does align mask it? Okay, yeah, so this is just masking off. Okay, that's reasonable. Yeah. Ah, that looks good to me. Approve. Hey, we're in October. We're only like 6 months back now. Let's see. What is it that's making... Let's see. This is just waiting on to be related to... Fixes 186. Added instructions to use in the chemo. The matrix chat. Yeah, the matrix chat is public. Let me pull that up. That's on Riot. Someone's asking where the matrix chat is. You can also look at Rust embedded matrix.org if you use other clients. But yeah, always feel free to shout out at me if something's not working. I have such a weird jank setup, so let me know. Chances are it's probably on my side, not on your side. I got a more powerful, well, it's a home server type machine right now, but it's got a way better CPU and more RAM than my current PC has, so maybe I'll get that up and going for things. We'll see. So let's look at this. We'll use this later to generate a project from a template. Sure. What is this other PR? Add command. Okay, so this is just doing the same thing. Install where it's less likely to be overlooked. Yeah, that looks fine to me. If someone needed it, then they need it. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Memory.x is misconfigured. The hello example can potentially still be built in Flash, only to fail without a proper error message when the user attempts to continue the main breakpoint. No, the GDB blocks the terminal instead of hitting the breakpoint after you continue. You might want to double check the memory region. Yeah, it seems like a reasonable hint. So that's the book. Excuse me. Let's go to the embedded nomicon. Actually, I'm going to start backwards because I think... Let's see why Borse failed. Boop, boop, boop. Diff obj dump. Interesting. What is... This should not be related, because this has nothing to do with things. What is this assembly? So the assembly is just branch. Why do we have a push? Oh, I bet you this is because of the there was a thing actually. Generated assembly code. Is this due to the don't mangle the LR when panicking? Change. Should we fix the did generated ASM here? So we made a change. So before, the optimizer would say, hey, you have a divergent function, a function that never returns, like panic. And LVM will very helpfully just like smash the link register because it goes, well, you're diverging, so you're never going to need to figure out how to get back here again. But if you're trying to debug a panic, then you probably do still want the link register because you're going to want to figure out how to get back there. Or you're going to want to backtrace. So it would very helpfully save you a couple instructions, but it would smash your backtrace, which is not great if you're trying to debug things. So I'm wondering if this was a change to make debugability better, but I'm wondering if this just finally came down the pipeline and it changed things. Yeah, so I think that might actually be, but Jonas is the one that I think implemented that upstream, so let's see what he has to say. I think he's in chat, but hopefully he'll see this. I'm going to double ping him because I know GitHub notifications kind of are terrible. Yeah, okay. Let me just clean up some tabs. Let's see how these discovery things are going. Bourse still expected? How you doing, Bourse? So this is in Discovery. Let me update. Yeah, this is waiting on Bourse. Let's make sure this is not waiting on review, waiting on Bourse. Let's go make sure all of these have there, just in case if I get pulled off, then Bourse, just so someone knows that it's good to try again later. Okay, so that's Discovery. Let's look at the book and see what's... Hey! Woohoo! All the book ones are good. We can close these because we're done. No O files. Updated instruction root.o. It's not as shown. Corrected as well. What is this doing? No app I'm running on. Inliner note as opposed to... personality. Language editor not found. Yeah, this looks good to me. I bet you it has... No merge conflicts. Cool. So I think this one needs... I'm actually going to throw this one up for review on... Because I remember this one, and this one is super good, and it's a shame that it's sat open for as long as it has, but I also am not 100% sure that it's still... still up to date. So I'm going to, in the tracking issue... Let's edit this. Okay, so I'm going to bug some other people because I think that's a little bit bigger. So I wasn't able to. Well, we were able to make a first pass through the merge request, so I'm pretty happy about that. I don't think I'm going to be able to triage the issues, but let's save that for another stream. It's already been a better part of an hour, and so far I've just been looking at pull requests. So I'm going to take a maybe like, ooh, build failed. Why did build fail? Details. Oh, I bet you this is going to be failing on the same. What? What? I was just going to complain about the diff thing. Yep, okay. So let's, you know what, let's open up a quick Betanomicon. Where is this? Clone. So where is the expected? Let's just. How can I make my editor actually insert a tab? Okay, you know what? We're gonna office hours, Rust, embedded, Embedonomicon. Where are you? CD, CI main, app, source. App.objdump. You should be. I should just run whatever this is. What are the instructions for this? Oh no. Where is view raw log? Let's just try this. Space, 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 tab. And let's get rid of that. Hopefully it check out -b update asm. Update with newest asm. That's gonna be a problem, isn't it? Oh, I shouldn't be lazy and I should just run this. What is the actual... What is the actual command that's getting built here? I should have everything I need. Rust up. Target add thumb v7m none EIB. I have so many components. Oh, I guess Rust update updates all of my tool chains. Oops. Glad my internet's at least decently fast. Hopefully this isn't gonna kill my PC. But yeah, what it is there is a change where, yeah, we don't... Well, I guess I already explained that about the link register. So is anyone working on any fun projects? I still got some people in the stream. Apparently doing triage has not made everyone stop my stream. I've still got 11 people here. So anyone working on some fun Rust projects now? Anyone want to anything they want me to look at or share? Okay, let's try this. Yeah. Let's just take this instead. Okay, yeah, there we go. Someone saying we're using a Quectel cellular modem. A colleague and I were joking about writing the modem response parsers in Rust. That's actually an awesome idea, to be honest. Like, parsers are one of those things that are just... So, like, so the company that I work at is Fair Systems. We do consultancy in Rust, and a lot of times we have people who are interested in using Rust. And here, I'll put the website up while I'm doing my plug. One of the things people ask a lot of times is like, where should we use Rust first? And one of the best things that I can suggest for most projects is find, especially if you're talking about an existing project and you're not doing like a greenfield rewrite or something like that, finding one well isolated component that you can write in Rust and link into your existing stack is one of the like most useful things that we recommend, because it gives you a chance to just write one isolated thing that can be well tested. Doesn't It gives you a lot of lessons and stuff like that about what should and shouldn't be done with Rust and how to implement it in your pipeline and your development process, and like helps you teach other people at your work stuff about Rust. And like there's a couple go-to things that we always end up like picking on, like, this is a good one to do first. And that's stuff like parsers, serializers, deserializers, like raw math or things like that. Stuff that's like well contained and you can unit test it really extensively. So Carlos, I know you were kind of joking about it, but honestly, doing a parser or a communication library in Rust is a super, super good place to do your first work project at Rust. The other thing we typically recommend is doing it with stuff like tools. Tools are testing components. So like if you have a testing framework or a testing library, or you have some like test unit that like pretends to be another system, so you can run system tests or something like that. Writing that like test equipment in Rust is also super good because it's not in your like critical path, but yeah, those kind of things. Oh, Marcus is saying they did a YouTube series going over the Rust book. I think I saw that. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I saw that posted and I wanted to go back and read that. So thank you for putting that up, Marcus. If you have a link to that, I'd be happy to pull that up and share it with the stream. But yeah, Carlos, going back to you. Yeah, that's actually a super good idea. And if you'd like help with that, let me know, and we can help through Ferris or in one way or another. But otherwise, like, I think you're on the right track. Finding like a well isolated component, particularly one that like C is really bad at, which is parsers, because you get like buffer overflows and crashes and stuff like that. Rust is actually a really, really, really good application. And if you're using you say Quectel cellular modem, if you're using something like an AT modem command structure, I think there are a couple AT command crates that are no standard already. So throwing together a static lib or something like that is super straightforward. So yeah, seriously, if you're looking for help, let us know. Otherwise, yeah, I think you're on the right track, and it's a super good idea for a first serious work project to do. So yeah, this is my plug. Company I work for. We do a lot of Rust. We do a lot of embedded Rust. So if you're looking for help, let us know. Also probably relevant, we have Rust experts. This is for people who don't need a consultant, but need want to be able to ping someone in case something goes wrong and get unstuck. So sort of like these streams, we're also doing a bunch of other streams, like some of the other folks at Ferris. Yeah, they've done some streams, so you can come see our streams here. We've got some upcoming ones this upcoming week. So yeah, and we're running a thing until the end of April where it's 64 euros for a 2-week trial of this. But we put you in a chat room and we answer your questions, and you can say, how do I do this? And we'll respond with that. So if you don't need a full-time consultant, but you just need a little bit of help, this is our consulting light option. So if your work's interested in getting started, this is probably a good place. But that's enough plugs from me. But I was able to... Let's see how this is doing. Let's see if Boris is happy now. Boris failed again. Why are you failing, Boris? Why are you failing? What is the diff? Huh. B main. Why are you... Okay, I should probably go look at... I might just be in the wrong... dev Okay, I'm gonna have to look at this. But yeah. Okay, I'm gonna come back to that. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna take a quick 10-minute break, maybe. 10-minute break. Eat some more pizza. Get a new drink. I'll be back in a minute. I'll probably done a lot of writing and boring stuff so far, so I'll probably end up doing the radio stuff. So you get to watch me like vaguely stare at a data sheet and not exactly know what I'm doing. But I'll come back and I'll do some interesting data sheet stuff or interesting radio stuff here in about 10 minutes. So that'll be like 8:20 Berlin time. Um, yeah. All right. Be back in a bit. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so we're back. Let me start by reload. Let's start by closing all my windows. Close other tabs. Okay, so the other thing that I said I was I'm gonna admit I'm probably not gonna get to the I'm not gonna ride the RFC on the stream. It's worth reading. I'll probably do it off stream. I feel like I've made you sit through triaging too much, so I'll do some fun software development stuff. Also in the comments, Marcus Wilcock, Marcus Willock, excuse me, my font's really small. He mentioned he has a YouTube channel where he's also doing Rust teaching things, so I definitely recommend checking that out. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I have seen it talked about on the Rust Reddit, so give him a look. If you look in the comments, he's linked to his channel, or I've linked to his channel, and he's mentioned it, so feel free to throw it in there. I should go back and see what Boris did with all those, but we've done enough triaging. So the next thing I wanted to look at is Nordic and enhanced shock burst. So often I like having devices talk to each other, and wireless is the most fun way to make devices talk to each other. But lots of protocols are very complicated, and all you want to do a lot of the time is just send packets back and forth. A lot of the times I use, I have a repo called github.com/jamesmunns.postcard, which is a Saturday library for I have pull requests. Oh, I know what those pull requests are. Which is basically a Saturday serializer that works on no standard, and I use it in a ton of projects. Whenever I'm sending data back and forth between a serial port or over SPI or over radios, I tend to use Postcard, partially because I wrote it, partially because it's exactly what I need. But it means that instead of having to think about parsers and stuff like that, you just send structs and receive structs, which is like 90% of what you want a lot of the time. So Talis Fragoso he's now here, so I'm keeping an eye on his chat, so in case he has feedback. But yeah, Nordic is, so where's the board that I had before? Nordic is a manufacturer that makes microcontrollers, and their microcontrollers are awesome because they have really nice peripherals and they have nice radios in them. So this is one board that Ferris Systems uses for a lot of our trainings because I like it so much. It's made by a company called Decawave. Basically, it's got two radios in it. It's got a NRF52 52832, which has a couple things it can do, and it also has a cool ultra wideband multiple gigahertz radio that's super useful for measuring distances. And up to now I've typically just used that because there's a good driver for that radio, but it's an external SPI radio, which means working with it is a little bit more complicated because it's not just on your microcontroller. Normally Nordic devices are used to do Bluetooth, but Bluetooth is a really big complicated protocol, and if you're just trying to make two devices talk to each other or make your computer talk to a bunch of devices, then Bluetooth doesn't always work so great for that. Out of the box, Nordic also has a proprietary protocol called Enhanced Shock Burst, which is meant for like really simple use cases where you're just streaming data, or like you're a wireless mouse or a keyboard or something like that, but it lets you send packets over the radio with very little work. I've not used Enhanced Shock Burst before. Excuse me. I've not used Enhanced Shock Burst before, but I've been told that it's very simple, and I've heard good things if you are trying to do simple things. So I've been looking for a really simple little radio. The other option is on some of Nordic's chips, they also support a protocol called 802.15.4. Let's do radio stuff. Nordic chips support proprietary protocol. Enhanced Shock Burst. And proprietary means like Nordic does it. It's not really a wide standard. You can implement it. I think it'd probably not be good if you tried to implement it with other chips. I don't exactly know. I'm not an expert in radios, unfortunately. I'm very much a software, occasional hardware kind of person. Some of the radios, some chips like the 840 can do 802.15.4, which is a much more open standard, which is used if you've ever heard of stuff like Zigbee, Thread, stuff like that. Those are all based on 802.15.4. It's a much more open standard, but unfortunately not all of their chips support it out of the box. So like the 840 can do it, but the 832, like that's in this board, I have some 840s somewhere, but I don't have them handy right now. But the 832 can't do it out of the box. So 802.15.4 is probably a better choice. Also, their implementation will only do 250 kilobits per second, where apparently with an extended shock burst you can do 2 megabit per second, which is pretty fancy. The other cool thing is I went and looked at their C code for this, and their C code for this is only like 1,000 lines of C code, which is something that I feel like I could reasonably re-implement from scratch. So did I download this? No, I didn't download this. So let me go download the SDK while I'm waiting. I want to download the SDK. I don't really want the soft device because hopefully I won't need it. Let's just download this. So that is downloading. Oh, I guess I did already have that. Never mind. That's what that thing in my download folder was. So let's move that. Move downloads device. Office hours. Okay. Zip. Device download. I don't really want the soft device. Well, maybe. Oh, this is totally not useful. This is not what I wanted. Maybe I did. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, that's 150 megabytes. That I probably downloaded the wrong thing before. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, unzip. Let's make der Nordic. Oh. Oh, cool. It's a zip and a zip. Unzip. There we go. This looks like everything that normally comes in the Nordic SDK. Cool, 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 cool. So let's go look at components, and they have proprietary RF. So they actually have another one. They have ESB, which is extended shock or enhanced shock burst, which is this thingy. And they also have another one called Gazelle, which is apparently a much more complicated one that's built on top of some of the fundamentals of that. So I admit I don't super know how the Nordic soft device works, or the Nordic, not the soft device, how the Nordic radio peripheral works. So one of my goals is to figure that out, and yeah. The other thing, if I go and look at my notebook, Talus has started working on it. He said he didn't get much code there. He got some of the data structures and started looking at some stuff, but that's still interesting to me because that's work that I don't have to do. So let's clone that repo too. And let's just open. Let's go look at this. He told me how to read through this. He said, what did he say? Burp, burp, burp. Packet, then peripheral, then librs. Okay. So packet. Let me pull up my chat just to make sure that I'm not seeing. Okay. Okay, so we've got some. Represents the payload from an ESB protocol. Actually, you know what? Let's go. There was one other thing in my notes, and that was SDK docs. Let's hope my stream doesn't drop, because I think Sublime is attempting to index that entire Nordic folder right now, which means my computer is very sad. So shock burst and how to use it. So two-way data communication. Cool. That's what we want. Packet buffering, packet acknowledgement, and automatic retransition of lost packets. That's cool. Radio communication with low power. Small encode size, easy to use. Wonderful. Transaction is a packet exchange between two transceivers, with one transceiver acting as the primary receiver, and the other transceiver acting as the primary transmitter. Okay. Yeah, this makes sense. So like what I'd probably normally have is I'd have like one PC living in there, just kind of listening to all these devices. So if I had a bunch of like sensors hanging out around my house, I'd have like one of them plugged into my computer acting like a modem, and then I'd have all the embedded devices hanging out around my house just sending data like temperature and motion or something like that. So this is a star network topology. So typically I'd either have point-to-point, which is like two embedded devices talking to each other, or I'd have a star topology, which is one router kind of device, which would be at my computer, and then a bunch of satellite devices. So that's the star topology, because this looks sort of like a star. You'll also see this called like hub and spoke, in that this looks like on a wheel, this looks like the hub, and these are all the spokes out to the edges of the wheel. 1 to 32 byte dynamic payload in legacy mode, or 1 to 252 bytes static payload in NRF. So this is the kind of annoying thing, is most of the time I don't want fixed packet sizes, but hey, I can negotiate that or something like that. Bi-directional data transfer between each PTX and PRX. Okay. I think the P stands for like primarily receiving and primarily transmitting. Packet acknowledgement and automatic packet retransmission functionality, individual TX and RX FIFOs for every pipe. Backwards compatible with legacy. Cool. In case I want to go like pure hardware route on some stuff. Fixed set of resources and requires exclusive access to them for ESB to ensure correct operation. So I need the radio. I need some timers. And I'm sure these are just defined by the C implementation. I'm sure I could do something else, but I'm sure there's a reason they chose that. So I'll probably end up implementing it the same way. PPI is like the peripheral interconnect, something, I can't remember what it is. But it's the ways that you can make one peripheral on Nordic automatically trigger another one. And it also requires software interrupt 0. Okay. No MPU enforcement. Okay. Radio and timer interrupt handlers run at priority level 0, and this is because it's all like super timing based. for ACKs and stuff like that, and the ESB callback runs at priority levels 1. Other interrupts used by application must use priority level 2 or lower to ensure correct operation. Okay. This is backwards compatibility, but we don't have any old devices right now. An enhanced Shockbird packet transmission is initiated by a packet transmission from the PTX and successfully completed when the PTX has received an acknowledgement. So yeah, my edge device sends a message and then gets an ACK. To enable bidirectional is allowed to attach a data payload to the ACK. Okay, so the bidirectional means that you ACK back. Okay, so if I wanted like my main device to send something to a satellite device, I'd have to have the satellite devices like occasionally ping back and say, hey, I have nothing for you. And then in the acknowledgement, the central device would have to say, but I have something for you. Here we start the transaction by adding a payload. Cool. So the main device is listening all the time, sends ACK. Okay, that makes sense. And then the RX. And this makes sense because you want your edge devices to be sleeping most of the time, if they were battery powered or something like that. So that actually makes sense. PTX to PRX. If the PTX does not receive an ACK after it attempts to retransmit the packet until the ACK is finally being received, you can set that. And there's a delay between retransmission. If the ACK packet sent from the PRX to the PTX is lost, but both the initial packet and the subsequent retransition attempts are being successfully received, the repeated packets will be discarded by the PRX. This prevents the PRX. Okay, so they have some kind of like sequence number or something in there. With a delay. This seems very nice and simple and lovely. Can select that individual packets that are transmitted to the PRX do not require an ACK to be sent in return from the PRX. Okay, so if I don't want to ACK, then don't ACK. Cool. If I'm not ACKing, I don't know how I would get messages back, but hey, if I was just like a mouse or a keyboard or something, I probably wouldn't need one. Talus is saying it's actually the opposite. Static for legacy and dynamic for enhanced. I'd love if that was true, but everything that I've seen said not that. But let's see what happens when we start getting into stuff. And it does have a length field. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I wonder if it's static maximum or something like that. This is mostly how to use the software. ESB can send or receive packets using any of the channels that the NRF5 chip can use. The channel is selected. Okay, so for RF channels, so nominally the NRF supports 2.4 gigahertz, but there's like a handful of different channels in there where they're like 2.40 whatever, 2.40 whatever, 2.41 whatever, that kind of stuff, where there's different slots. I can't remember what the width is, but I'm sure in the docs I will find it. Pipes and addresses. Each pipe maps to one on-air address that is used when transmitting or receiving packets. The on-air addresses are comprised of a 2 to 4 byte long base address in addition to a 1 byte prefix. The most significant byte of the base address must not be an alternating sequence of zeros and ones. Must not be 55 or AA. Cool. Pipe 0 has its own unique base address, while pipes 1 to 7 use the same base address. Each of the 8 pipes have unique byte-long prefix address. On air, the most significant bit of each address bit is transmitted first. The most significant byte of the 2 to 4 byte long base address is the first transmitted. The prefixed byte is transmitted last. Okay. The webcam is a couple seconds behind the audio. I don't think I did anything like that on purpose. Settings. Audio. It's probably just my computer being terrible, and I apologize for that. I don't intentionally have any delay in there, but maybe try refreshing, see if it's any better for you. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have anything. Sorry, Yenrik. What if I listen to myself? So if I do, I'm watching my own audio to see if I see the same thing that you do. So I'm watching myself. So sorry for the... Let's see if I can hear myself. Well, it's not delayed for me. So yeah, I would maybe try refreshing. Sorry, Henrik. Other folks, let me know if the audio and the video is out of sync. But otherwise, I would maybe suggest refreshing. This is my very non-professional setup. I apologize. Okay, pipes and addressing. Okay, so you got a preamble, base address, and a prefix. Okay. Addresses cannot consist of a 0 prefix, and an address in the form 0 will cause invalid. Okay. Byte ordering the ESB and radio peripherals are not the same because the address bytes are rearranged in ESB to match the radios. Yeah, I remember reading something about like part of it's big endian and part of it's little endian. Uniquely identified by a 2-bit packet ID field. Okay. Packet ID is used to distinguish a new packet. The PRX retransmitted packets are discarded and not added to the FIFO. The CRC is used in addition to identify a unique packet. Okay. FIFOs. So the FIFOs are here, but that's probably a software thing. When ESB is enabled in PRX mode, all enabled pipes are simultaneously monitored. Okay. If a new packet that was not previously added to the PRX FIFO is received, the RX FIFO has available space for that packet, and the packet is added to the RX FIFO. So I wonder if they just have like an incrementing nonce or something like that. When there is an event on the radio, the ESB module analyzes its cause and, if necessary, queues an event to the application. Okie dokie. Events are queued as flags that are read out on the first opportunity to trigger a software interrupt. Therefore, there might be multiple radio interrupts between each event that is actually sent to the application. That makes sense. You'll get a bunch of like steps in the radio reception. Yeah. The module implementation can include a set of workaround for hardware erratas. Oh, cool. A few hundred bytes. Not just 100. 100. Determined runtime, which firmware based on newer SDKs function as intended. If you know that your firmware will only contain certain devices, you may save a few hundred bytes of code by removing the workaround. If you are sure that you do not require that. Yeah. Cool. SDK. Interesting. Okay, well that's interesting. So that's a good overview. So ESB spoke, hub and spoke / star topology, central device usually listens, can include data on an ACK, edge devices sends when it feels like it, can listen for ACKs, addresses and pipes. No idea yet. I didn't really understand that, but we'll see. But Talus had a suggestion for Another doc. Useful docs. So this has the packet. Yeah, I remember seeing this. Preamble, address, yeah, LS bit transmitted first, MS bit and MS byte transmitted first. What? This is a nightmare. I guess that's this is the enhanced packet, but it's still a nightmare. Preamble, address 3 to 5 bytes, PCF 9 bits, payload was introduced. Okay, why is it a 9-bit field? The new mean that payload lengths can be dynamic. Packets can be okay, so maybe it is backwards. Maybe that doc is just bad. That'd be awesome if this was dynamic, because that would be literally everything that I want. So maybe Talis is right. Knowledgeable payloads must be preloaded. It is not possible for a transmitter to send a command and receive a direct response to that command in the acknowledgement. So the response would have to be preloaded, so it can be sent as the acknowledgement for the next command that is received. Yeah, because they're saying that the turnaround time for ACKs need to be super short. So, yeah. Turn around for ACKs super short. This is why it has all those notes in there about highest prio interrupts. So they don't want you like sitting around processing some serial port data when you should be acknowledging a packet. Must preload messages. I guess this is typically kind of fine. Radios have a ramp up time. Yeah, because radios, when they're switching from sending to receiving, take some time to switch around. 130 microseconds is not a terrible amount of time. Although I think we could maybe, honestly with Rust, I think we could sneakily serialize a message in 130 microseconds, but we'll listen to them for right now. The acknowledgement process was performed in hardware without CPU interventions. However, the increased flexibility that was required for Bluetooth also forced the hardware to give up this optimization. So they have some libraries. Payload lengths to be expanded. 2 bytes are lost. Capable throughput is greatly improved in larger payloads. Ooh, and only 40 microseconds. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to skim the C code, actually, because it's a full implementation. And the nice thing is I don't think it requires the Nordic soft device, which is great because I don't want to include the Nordic soft device. Okay, so they have a little... Ooh, excuse me. Let's see, audio. Okay, cool. Stream's still going. It's about 8:50 now. I'm probably gonna go for like 15 or 20 more minutes, and then I'm probably gonna call it. So, unfortunately, I didn't get as far here, but I'm gonna try and come back a couple times this week. So I'll take another hit at this. But I want to, before I'm done today, I want to understand what I'm doing. And then the goal will probably be to implement this a bit more in the next stream, and maybe spend a little less time. Yeah. So this is what the timeouts are, which is neat. Burp, burp, burp. Interrupt flags. State machine. Okay, it goes from idle. Okay. Radio shorts common. Okay, so this is going to be the interesting thing. Shorts are what Nordic calls the like automatically triggering another peripheral from one. So like one event can trigger multiple things. OC. Structure holding a pipe, info, PID, and CRC and acknowledgement. Okay, so we've got a CRC 16. We've got a PID, and we've got an ACK payload. Okay. So we've got a FIFO. Okay, so this is their circular buffer. Receive payload. And this is just exactly the same thing. Who needs generics? Oh, interesting. Yeah. Gross. Okay, we've got some. Oh no, why are we using variable length? Okay. Okay, yeah, I definitely see a enhanced shock burst with dynamic payload length, so that's promising. I'm actually pretty excited about that. Oh no, this is a nightmare to read. Okay, I'll have to figure out. I think the 840 will do 4 dBm. Auto TX when the TX50 contains packets and yeah, okay, so this is manual mode. Packet timing. Okay. Length pipe RSSI NOAC. Okay, let's go back. Where was I? So let's just look at what's in here. Oh no. Okay. Oh good. Good. Bytewise bit swap. Cool. Apply address workaround. Cool. Oh no. This will cause a 3 dBm sensitivity loss. Interesting. Update RF payload format ESB. Okay, I'm not going to get to this. This is like little helper functions. I'm okay with that. This will be useful for writing the driver, but I do not need that now. Update radio protocol, update radio CRC. Okay, we've got some CRC for the hardware. Cool. Radio parameters. Interesting. Reset FIFOs. Cool. So some of this is just going to be like they wrote circular buffer code. Skip TX. function to push the content. So tell us, if you're listening, are they actually like taking advantage of these circular buffers in the hardware, or is this just like they wrote a circular buffer for this code? Because it's going to be annoying if like half of this code is literally just a raw implementation of a circular buffer. So there's probably like an ESB underscore. Let's go look at ESB event. Ooh, that's interesting. NRF. Okay, yeah. Space NRF ESB. Let's go look at their public interfaces. Yeah, so this is really just like payload, payload lens equals. Okay, yeah, so this is just like popping from the FIFO. Start TX, start RX. Cool. I've got intent clear, intent set. Cool, just software. Thank you, Telus. Interesting. Set base address. Okay. Do they have just like an example of this? Examples. Proprietary RF. Primary RX. So let's go look at, I think you're an NRF. Oh, it's going to be in like common or something like that. Main.c. Okay, cool. Yes, legacy, event handler, clock start. So where's my main? Let's go look at main. Logging init, cool. GPIO init. Do you do anything interesting in GPIO init? No, you really don't. ESB init. Let's go look at you. It's going to be more useful to just look at this. Okay, so we have E7, 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 C2, C2, adder prefix, E7, C2, C3, C4, C5. Okay. Default config. What is the default config? Protocol. Dynamic protocol length. Cool. PTX. Event handler 0. Bit rate 2 megabit. Okay, cool. Transmit count. TX mode. Cool, cool, cool. Cool. So I guess it's setting base. So you have multiple base addresses? How does multiple base addresses work? Because I thought... Because they talk about... Pipe 0 has its own unique base address, while pipes 1 through 7 use the same base address. Okay, cool. So there's two. One's for the pipe 0. Each of the 8 pipes have a unique byte-long prefix address. Okay. Set prefixes... What is that second parameter? Num pipes. Okay, cool. So it has 8 pipes for some reason. I guess these are the... Okay, these are the 8 prefix thingers. Okay, so we have 8 pipes. Cool, cool. Clock start. Let's go look at clock start. Yeah, that's just starting the high frequency clock. That makes sense. Start RX. What am I? I'm a primary RX. So this is like on the PC. So let's go look at ESBC. Start RX. So make sure that we are idle. Clears all the interrupts. Doesn't disable any events. One radio disabled. Okay, this is the callback or something like that. Shorts common and disabled TX enable. Okay. KK. Clear. Enable the interrupt. Okay, cool. Go back to main. Don't. Start RX. Payload data equals M state. Oh goodness, is there a global? Okay, so it's just controlling the. Excuse me. It's just controlling the LED states. Write payload. Great, I'm on it. So you want to look at start TX transaction for a start. Okay, yeah. Wall process power manage. Okay, that's super uninteresting. Okay, let's go look at the other one. Okay. Not FN main. It's main, clock start, GPO, recover state if the device is woken up from a system off. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so they've even got a low. Check the state of all buttons and send an ESB packet when the button press if there is exactly one. Oh, cool. So yeah, they just have like a low power. There's probably, it explains this at the top. Nope, sure doesn't. Cool. Yeah, so I'm guessing it's just like a low power sleep, and when you press a button, then it's like a remote control button light kind of thing. If ESB completed, cool. You know, global variables. Just lean with it, rock with it. Read. Okay, so it's just payload data. What are you? Button pressed. Okay, cool. They're adding booleans together to make sure that they are cool. Button +3 star. But what is this? What is this? No ACK equals false. Write payload. You're saying start TX transaction for a start. Okay. Where else does this get called? Okay, I guess it gets called when it lets go and it's act. Okay. System off. Okay. Because this is gonna like turn off LEDs before sleeping to conserve energy, set on your system off, reading out value and looping, setting the register system off. Okay. Yeah. Event handler. Okay. Yeah, so this is just a remote control. Okay, so that's a nifty little thing. I'll probably end up doing the same thing. I have a couple of these little Decawave boards, so I only have one button here. I've got a reset button and a user button, so I'll probably just do this, but I'll have a remote control button or something like that. Okay, so let's go look at Talus's code. So good. So good. Okay, so this looks like a line by line right. Set it mbit. Cool. So tell us, if you're watching this, are there any profile or peripherals that aren't supported in the NRF52 HAL already? I'm guessing probably this is some of the radio stuff. Norse code doesn't use widening. Okay, yeah. Okay. Well, this is reasonable. It's just tickling the ESB timer trait implemented for the NRF timer peripherals. Set interrupt, clear interrupt. Cool. Package, generic array. Yep, that makes sense. And unsigned. Where does pub trait unsigned come from? Oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You don't want to have negative. I don't usually use unsigned. I wonder. Should I be doing that? But okay, so you've got your buffer, you've got length. Are you doing circular rebuffery things here? Or do you just have one tellus? Base address for pipe 0. Okay, that's cool. Type to be used by the ESP stack to perform radio transfers. Cool. Got some logging. Cool. SRAM upper, slice and RAM. Okay, so this is some of the stuff from the NRF52. ESB. Producer consumer. What are you using for producer consumer? Using heapless. That makes sense. Thank you very much. Such a good idea. Single core. Yeah, use heapless queue. Perfect. That's exactly what I would do. Well, maybe I'd use BBQ framed. We'll see. But yeah, BBQ frame would be better if you have very variable size packets. But there's nothing wrong with heapless SPSCQ. Yeah. This all seems reasonable. And honestly, the C code just looks mostly like it's just going to be tickling the bits. Like, you said, which was one? Start TX transaction? Transaction. That's the interesting one. Prepare the payload. Okay. Case ESB DPL. ACK equals not no ACK and not selective ACK. Is selective auto ACK, is that a software thing? Do we actually write that to a buffer somewhere? Handling ACK if no ACK is set to false or if auto selective. Okay. Configure the retransmit counter. Okay, yeah, I guess if you don't have an ACK. Current payload pipe RX addresses 1 left shift 1. Interesting. Frequency packet pointer. Okay. Does it do like a mem copy? Yeah. Could we get array without doing a mem copy? I think with... Yeah, you should be able to. Selective auto act is software too. Cool, like everything in here is software. So it's literally just like we're gonna do something similar to what they do. On radio disabled TX. Okay, so I should probably go and look at what these shortcuts do. On radio disabled. So these are just like the callbacks that they set. This is just walking through a state machine with callback functions because they're interrupt. I bet you is just gonna go call whatever the callback is. So like if I have IRQ handler, call the correct, yeah, on radio end. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to write any code today, but this makes sense, and it looks like Talus is already... Configure radio... Talus, it looks like, is already making some good progress here, so... Today's Sunday, probably Monday night, I'm probably going to come back, and I'll see where Talus is at. So, Talus is saying, it usually goes like this. They send a packet and use a timer to wait for timeouts. They go and change the timer interrupt callback depending on the state. That makes sense. So, I'm guessing if you get a radio callback, it'll kind of defuse the timer. And if you hit the timer, then you go into that. Not really the timer interrupt because they use PPI to map everything to disabled radio interrupt. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I need to go read how they use that. So are they actually using any interrupts? I guess they're not using any interrupts other than this. They're just using the PPI to trigger events. Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah, like I said, this is like 1,500 lines of code. Maybe it's more than I thought, but bug fix. Ooh, I guess I'm gonna find out what revision of hardware I have. Okay. Well, that's good to know. I'm gonna go before next time. Okay, let me make some notes to myself. Notes for next time. Review how PPI works in NRF52 datasheet. Check in with Talus to see how code is going. Start writing some example Rust code. Let's see, is there anything else that I need to make sure I go? Yeah, I think, like Talus is saying, it's fairly straightforward. Most of this stuff is in software. I really like what Talus has done so far in terms of getting the, like using heap lists and stuff like that, because I think that's even going to knock out most of the code that's here. Talus has already got all the, like, the helper structures there and the data structures there. So awesome. So Talus, definitely let me know what you need help with, because I am interested in getting this going probably on Monday, or at least writing some code for this on Monday. So on Monday, start writing some code. And I also need to make sure before the stream, make sure I have 2 radios handy for testing. Pretty much only the radio disable interrupt. They also steal an interrupt from another peripheral to pass events to the user. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I should probably also set up a template RTFM DWM 1001 project for playgrounding. Yeah, I think. Yeah, PPI is one of those things I have to go refresh myself because I don't remember. I'm probably gonna also review how the radio registers look, but that's probably optional because I don't think it's going to tell us much. Last time I remember looking at the NRF52 data sheet for the radio, it's just like, here's some registers, use it. But yeah, that's good to know. Okay. I don't think I'm going to get anything else useful done today, but we were able to get some docs PRs merged. That's nice. I still need to do some issue triage. I'm excited to work on this a little bit more next time. Goal is going to be getting LED remote control working. One device reading the button being the PTX role. One device setting the LED being the PRX role. What else do we need to do? I think if I can get two devices to talk to each other wirelessly, then I think I'm going to be pretty happy with that on Monday. But I'll make sure that I have the devices ready to go and set up, and maybe I'll even, well, I put one in the other room, but it's not exactly useful if I can't see how it's going. But then I don't even have to, yeah, I'll say stretch goal. I don't want to get anyone's hope up. Get a loop back going offset by one packet. So like you send the packet from last time just on some going interval. The other thing that I should probably make sure of, have UART logging handy already for testing. I think that's all. I've been going for a couple hours now. I don't think I'm going to be productive anymore. So you're just going to listen to me go and read more code again. So thank you to everyone who watched. I will post these notes up here, and this will very quickly turn into there. So I'll do one last run through. So don't forget to check this repo out. If you're interested in hearing me talk about stuff, add them to the issues. Oh, the other thing I didn't mention, I'm open to having guests. If you want to like hop on the stream, maybe like Zoom or Hangouts or something like that, and if you want to talk about a project you're doing or something you want to like share and go through, it's not like I have a huge audience. So I mean, if you'd like someone to talk to, I think having one person to talk to might be the more interesting part than some kind of publicity. But if you want to chat to me, I'm excited to see other people be excited about stuff that they're doing. So if anyone ever feels like hopping on and doing it podcast or discussion style, then I'm super open to that. Otherwise, yeah, open an issue if you want to hear me talk about something. Do me a favor and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I can't pick a special channel name until I hit 100 subscribers, so I'm gone from 0 to 20, so that's pretty awesome. If you need commercial help, hit me up at Fair Systems. Otherwise, I'm going to try and be back here on Monday. I'm not sure if I'm going to do every day this week, but I will try and be here on Monday. I don't think I have anything going on Monday night. So I'll probably be here 10 p.m. European Central Summer Standard Time. Roughly 24 and a half hours from now. I'll probably start. I'll go kind of late for Europe time, but if you're somewhere else in the world, maybe a more reasonable time. But thank you very much. I'll put this video will be up at the same link. I'll also probably edit it a little bit, take out the part where, or maybe I'll upload my copy. Hopefully if the video didn't drop frames on my local copy too, I'll upload that to the new channel. Otherwise, thanks, and I'll see you all soon.